Shanti. Harihi Om. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya, aviravirmayedhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Akhandam Satchidanandam Avang Manasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Asraye Vishta Siddhai. Let we be protected, let we be nourished. Let we strive with energy and vigor. Let our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om peace, peace, peace. I take refuge in the self, the indivisible, the existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute, beyond the reach of words and thought, and the substratum of all, for the attainment of my cherished desire. We are studying Vedantasara. Vedantasara is very important. The gist of Veda is called Vedanta. And what is taught in Vedanta, in a nutshell, that is called Vedantasara. That is why it is very important. Now there are various attitudes. One is devotion, sing the glories of God and absorb totally. Can we do that? If we can do, then no problem. But we want to know, why should I meditate on God? Why should I sing the glories of God? Who is God? Who is this self? And what are the components here? Something I see, it's very gross, but something is very subtle. Even very small a variation we can understand. A little different nuances also we can understand. Various finesse in our behavior pattern, that also we can understand. So what is this? We want to know. That is why we need Vedanta. And everything is so wonderfully blended, like a gross body, subtle body, causal body. Then we have waking state, dreaming state, dreamless state. And then we have various layers of existence. So all these and teachings of Vedas are so wonderfully blended that it is wonderful. That is why we need to study Vedantasara. And it helps in our meditation especially. What we meditate? Is closing the eyes is meditation? Our eyes are closed, our mind more roams about. And what to control? What is that mind? What is that intellect? Who controls? What is our reality? All these questions are to be answered. That is why we need to study Vedanta and gist of Vedanta. So Vedanta in nutshell is Vedantasara. So before we proceed, we'll read from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda as usual. David?
Yes, Swami.
Yeah, read.
I'm reading from a lecture by Swami Vivekananda entitled The Real Nature of Man. Great is the tenacity with which man clings to the senses. Yet, however substantial he may think the external world in which he lives and moves, there comes a time in the lives of individuals and of races when involuntarily they ask, is this real? To the person who never finds a moment to question the credentials of his senses, whose every moment is occupied with some sort of sense enjoyment, even to him death comes, and he also is compelled to ask, is this real?
So this is questioning mind. Like we are meeting here. Before that, we were somewhere else. After this, we'll go somewhere else. Every day we experience, and it is going. It's like water under bridge. It is going. If we are brutes, no need of asking any question. Brutes won't ask questions. They enjoy, like animals.
Hmm.
They don't ask question. They eat, drink, and lie down and procreate.
Hmm.
But human being wants to know why we should try to understand the reality, and that is why question comes. And we also experience this is momentary. Every moment it is kshanikam, kshanikam, sarvam kshanikam. Momentary, everything is momentary. I'm speaking, the time has gone. Again, as if we are, and one day we are out of this world. So even the person who is enjoying senses, he also, he is not satisfied, but still he wants to understand, is it real? Yeah, go ahead.
Religion begins with this question and ends with its answer. Even in the remote past, where recorded history cannot help us, in the mysterious light of mythology, back in the dim twilight of civilization, we find the same question was asked. What becomes of this? What is real? One of the most poetical of the Upanishads, the Katha Upanishad, begins with the inquiry. When a man dies, there is a dispute. One party declares that he has gone forever, and the other insists that he is still living. Which is true? Various answers have been given. The whole sphere of metaphysics, philosophy, and religion is really filled with various answers to this question. At the same time, attempts have been made to suppress it, to put a stop to the unrest of mind which asks, what is beyond? What is real? But so long as death remains, all these attempts at suppression will always prove to be unsuccessful. We may talk about seeing nothing beyond and keeping all our hopes and aspirations confined to the present moment, and struggle hard not to think of anything beyond the world of senses. And perhaps everything outside helps to keep us limited within its narrow bounds. The whole world may combine to prevent us from broadening out beyond the present. Yet so long as there is death, the question must come again and again. Is death the end of all these things to which we are clinging? As if they were the most real of all realities, the most substantial of all substances? The world vanishes in a moment and is gone, standing on the brink of a precipice beyond which is the infinite, yawning chasm. Every mind, however hardened, is bound to recoil and ask, is this real?
So this is, we see death is, the one thing we say, that one thing is constant, that is death. But is it? Is the death everything? Is nothing left after death? So these questions are there. Like Abrahamic religions will say, when you die, everything is gone. But Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma, eternal religion, or even Buddhism, they have this idea that no, There is no end of after death. Like we go from one room to another room. Similarly, we transmigrate from one body to another. Like we change our clothes. Similarly, vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. So this change, it's not end of our existence. Rather, gradually we are trying to achieve what is the ultimate goal of life. So that is what, yeah, go ahead.
The hopes of a lifetime, built up little by little with all the energies of a great mind, vanish in a second. Are they real? This question must be answered. Time never lessens its power. On the other hand, it adds strength to it. Then there is the desire to be happy. We run after everything to make ourselves happy. We pursue our mad career in the external world of senses. If you ask the young man with whom life is successful, he will declare that it is real, and he really thinks so. Perhaps when the same man grows old and finds fortune ever eluding him, he will then declare that it is fate. He finds at last that his desires cannot be fulfilled. Wherever he goes, there is an adamantine wall beyond which he cannot pass. Every sense activity results in a reaction. Everything is evanescent. Enjoyment, misery, luxury, wealth, power, and poverty, even life itself, are all evanescent. Two positions remain to mankind. One is to believe with the nihilists that all is nothing, that we know nothing, that we can never know anything, either about the future, the past, or even the present. For we must remember that he who denies the past and the future and wants to stick to the present is simply a madman. One may as well deny the father and mother and assert the child. It would be equally logical. To deny the past and future, the present must inevitably be denied also. This is one position, that of the nihilists. I have never seen a man who could really become a nihilist for 1 minute. It is very easy to talk. Then there is the other position, to seek for an explanation, to seek for the real, to discover in the midst of this eternally changing and evanescent world whatever is real. In this body, which is an aggregate of molecules of matter, is there anything that is real? This has been the search throughout the history of the human mind. In the very oldest times, we often find glimpses of light coming into men's minds. We find man, even then, going a step beyond this body, finding something which is not this external body, although very much like it, much more complete, much more perfect, and which remains even when this body is dissolved. We read in the hymns of the Rig Veda, addressed to the god of fire who is burning a dead body, "Carry him, O fire, in your arms gently. Give him a perfect body, a bright body. Carry him where the fathers live, where there is no more sorrow, where there is no more death." The same idea you will find present in every religion, and we get another idea with it. It is a significant fact that all religions, without one exception, hold that man is a degeneration of what he was. Whether they clothe this in mythological words, or in the clear language of philosophy, or in the beautiful expressions of poetry, this is the one fact that comes out of every scripture and every mythology, that the man that is a degeneration of what he was.
Yes, so like in all religions, in even those which are primitive, in those also they have some ideas that something remains. It's not that totally it vanishes. So let those things alone. Whatever they experience or whatever is written in scriptures, let them go alone. Live those. What we experience. Do we experience that everything is gone? No. We experience that, say, like we were children, and gradually we have grown up. So this something is changing. Hello? Okay. So we also experience that something is changing, but something is not changing. That which has not changed, that which is absolute, that which is constant, the same thing is reflected in our behavior pattern or in our manifested form. As we gradually evolve and recapture, reclaim our real identity, this false identity drops off. So this is the thing now. One thing is our real identity, and one thing is apparent identity. And what we do in meditation, we try to reclaim that real identity. Now, how to understand what is real and what is not real? So, whatever is temporary, whatever is chronicum, momentary, that's not real. And whatever never changes, that is real. But what happens? It is difficult to figure out. How can we figure out what is not changing? What is not any happening, any evolution? So that is what is the process of understanding here. So we have taken here the Sankhya philosophy. One is Purusha. Purusha means he is complete and full, Purnatvat, Purishayanatva, or who he is residing in this city of 9 gates, who is residing here. Even our day-to-day behavior, day-to-day wordings also we say, or when we meet someone after 20 years, so we say, oh, you are the same David, or you are the same Paul that I am meeting you after so many years. So that time maybe he was a child, but now he has grown up. We don't see the changes, we see the same person. So in our modern parlance also we understand this, that whatever we see the underlying unchanging reality. But somehow we are not that alert to separate it. That is why philosophers, they have clearly understood and they have given us a help based on the scriptures. It is all expressed in scriptures, and meditating on those scriptures and also experimenting on the self, they have developed this system. So, as of now, whatever we think, what we have 5 kind of objects that we experience. We experience like water, earth, whatever is solid, whatever is liquid, whatever is energetic, whatever is gaseous, and all these are held by Akasha. So that's why 5 elements. Now to experience this, we have 5 sense organs. So 5. And then similarly we have 5 organs of action. But all this has come from tanmatra, like interaction, how interaction happens, how objects and the sense organs interact. That is called tanmatra. So this is why in the chart you can see bhutas, five bhutas: space, air, fire, water, earth. This is just a generalization. That means whatever is solid, whatever is liquid, whatever is energy, whatever is gaseous, and all those are held by space. And from here, tanmatras, the subtle portion, comes and interacts with our senses. And also, the sense, two kinds of senses. One is organs of perception and organs of action. And all these are perceived or channelized through mind. And then it comes to intellect, buddhi, and also ahamkara. And here it is included chitta. Chitta again, the container in which the whole thing is being interacted. And sense of ego, I am doing. So this is the whole system. But all these are called mula prakriti. And every day we create this, and every day it is absorbed in mula prakriti. So it is in mula prakriti that from there it expresses, and again it is absorbed in mula prakriti. But this mula prakriti is energized by the Purusha. Purusha is who is within. So we are trying to discover that Purusha. So two ways we can understand: whatever it is not, and secondly, what it is. So because it is very difficult to understand, that is why we should be, sometimes we repeat, but repetition is very important. Then only we have that samskara. Then only when we are meditating, then we can withdraw from the senses. Then we can even withdraw from our intellect. Then we can withdraw from our sense of joy, bliss. So that's why we need to study over and over again. So we have already covered up to 88. So because we have introduced already, those who have interest, they can go back and try to understand. Now let us go forward. Tasmat will start from 87. Yes. Tasmat pranadi panchakam akashadi gata rajanshobhir militebhya utpadyanti. So one is sattva, rajas and tamas. The play is all these three. In mula prakriti, all are in equilibrium. Like we can see here, in mula prakriti, sattva, rajas and tamas are in equilibrium. When equilibrium disturbed, more sattva, then it is intellect. Say intellect. See, that's why it is all white. That means what? Like all the colors, when it is mixed up, it becomes white. But when intellect is more, that means, and again, white is white because this is the prakriti and the vikruti happens. Gradually what happens? This is sattvika amsha, intellect and ahamkara and manas, sattvik. And gyanendriyas, this also from sattva. And these are tamasic, that means what is with inertia, whatever is gross, like this body is gross. So this is from bhutas. And this is panchikrita. Panchikrita means all mixed, like akasha, space, air, fire, water, earth. When it is all mixed up, it is called panchikrita. Like when it is this akasha, sthula akasha, that gross akasha, it is half of the pure akasha and one fourth, one fourth, one fourth, one fourth. That makes another half. So that's like panchikaranam, that it will come here. So anyway, sattva, rajas and tamas. Like this in AI, artificial intelligence. Now a programmer programs, and then a robot performs that action. So here we can see that programmer is the Mula Prakriti, because he programs, and he himself, as it were, he or she, whatever, he himself acts as intellect, and also like I am doing in that robot, that sense, and also it senses it. There are sensory say cameras. It will take image and will say, okay, this is obstruction, so I'll not go this way. So all these are, and also it performs some action, that means karmendriya. So gyanendriya is like sensory organs, gyanendriyas. Karmendriya like organs of function, and the perception that happens because of tanmatras, and what is perceived, that is bhutas, the elements. So the whole thing we can understand with the example of artificial intelligence. So similarly, now we are not interested in all these evolutes. We are only interested in that who never changes. But until we understand what are these various objects are, we cannot deny them. Because all mixed up now. Whenever somebody says something very harsh, we feel insulted. We don't segregate. We mixed up. Oh, you said something. Then we are angry. So, to understand what I am not, this is the study. So now let us go forward. Idam pranadi panchakam. Idam pranadi panchakam karmindriyai sahitam sat pranamaya kosha bhavati. So panchendriya, 5 sense organs, and 5 prana. Prana means like vital forces. Prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. That we have already studied. So with this 5 and karmendriyas, so this is pranamaya kosha. What is manomaya kosha? Jnanendriya, sense of organs, with mind. That is manomaya kosha. What is vijnanamaya kosha? The jnanendriyas, 5 sense organs, and intellect. So that is vijnanamaya kosha. So this is kosha. Kosha means like case, like we have coverings. So idam pranadi panchakam karmendriyehi sahitam sat pranamaya kosho bhavati. So at the same time, the teacher is explaining various koshas, coverings. So these 5 vital forces, such as prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, together with the organs of action, constitute the vital sheath, pranamaya kosha. Its active nature allows shows that it is the product of the particles of rajas, because it is active. When you drive a car, some pistons go up and down, up and down. So that's active. Then only it works. In a robot, something is active. Then it will work. Now, next, we will go to it next. एतेषु कोशेषु मध्ये विज्ञानमयः ज्ञानशक्तिमान कर्तृरूप. Now we have the idea that I am doing, I am speaking. How that comes? How that comes? So eteshu kosheshu madhye vijnanamaya. So this intellect understand I am doing, I am selecting words, I am delivering those words, pronouncing those words. So vijnanamaya jnana shaktiman. So I am also, I have a power of knowledge. This I am experiencing. Who is experiencing? My ego. So vijnanamaya jnana shaktiman karti rupa. And also I am doing. This sense of ego, saying I am doing, I am speaking. Manomaya ichha shaktiman karana rupa. And so mind, through mind I am selecting right words. Through mind I am speaking in a right manner. So this is, it has power of willpower. That is why ichha shaktiman karana rupa. Karan means instrument. It is like instrument. I am using my mind to select right words, to pronounce in the correct way, so that it is conveyed. So this is my instrument. What is the instrument? Mind and sense organs, and also karmendriya, organ of action. Right? Organ of action, like my mouth is organ of action. My hands are organ of action. But only this will not do. I must select. So through my mind I am selecting the right words, and then I am asking my mind, instruct my mouth to pronounce correctly. If I don't pronounce correctly, Barbara will say, Swami, this is not the way. This is how you have to pronounce. So, I am the person who is doing. My consciousness, we are interested only in consciousness. But until unless we know how it is happening, we cannot segregate. So what are other players that is playing? That we are trying to figure out. So other players are my intellect, my mind, my sense organs, my organs of actions, and it has, so these are my instrument. So now let us see the translation. Among these sheaths, the intelligent sheath, that means Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is endowed with the power of knowledge. So when I am speaking, I know I am speaking. So this is because of the power, is the agent. And also I am thinking, I am doing. So from when I am thinking of my ego, oh, I am, then I am speaking. So this is power of knowledge and agentship. The mental sheath, Manomaya Kosha, which is endowed with willpower. So my mind has, it exerts to my sense organs. Now speak. So I am speaking. So mind instructs sense organs. The endowed with willpower is the instrument. And the vital sheath, Pranamaya Kosha, which is endowed with activity, is the product. So, pranamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha, sheath of activity. Like you have to think that this is sheath of anna, body, uh, that food. As we eat food, this body grows. But this activity is different. That is another sheath within. So that sheath is this, pranamaya kosha, which is endowed with activity, is the product. This division has been made according to their respective functions. So it's not that all of a sudden it is done. Seeing the various activities, our rishis, like scientists, they separated. Okay, this is karma yoga. This is pranamaya kosha. The organs or sheath of activity, pranamaya kosha. So this way it is separated to their respective functions. These three sheaths together constitute the subtle body. Now what is subtle body? When a person dies, what happens? We see the physical body lying there, but the person is gone. And Abrahamic religions will say, no, nothing is left. But it doesn't happen. Why? When we are sleeping, we can see somebody sleeping. So body is inert. And even he is not aware of this world. But when he wakes up, again he is aware of this. That means this body experiences temporary, say, inactivity. So activity is within. The person who does activity is within. Say I am speaking. So that person must be separate from my body. So these three sheaths, now, this is pranamaya kosha, annamaya kosha, but activity is pranamaya kosha, and then mind with sense organs is manomaya kosha, and intellect with sense organs is vijnanamaya kosha, and when we experience joy through body, mind, and also intellect, that is anandamaya kosha. That means the final covering. Though it is not external, it is internal. The most close, the closest sheath that encircles our being is anandamaya kosha, sheath of bliss. So this way we can separate what I am not. I am not this annamaya kosha, which has grown because of food. I am not the sheath of activities. I am not the sheath of mind. I am not the sheath of vijnanamaya, that means intellect. I am not the sheath of even bliss, because that's also sheath. But what is covering? That am I. So this way we can meditate. Okay, so we go to the next. Atrapi akhila sukshma shariram eka buddhi vishayataya vanavat जलाशयवत वा समष्टिर अनेक बुद्धि विषयतया वृक्षवत जलवत वा व्यष्टिरपि भवति. Now what it means? Here also the sum total of all the subtle bodies. So I have a subtle body, you have a subtle body, you have a subtle body, you have a subtle body. So when all taken together, all subtle bodies, so that is when looked upon as one, like forest or a reservoir, is called samashti or aggregate, and when viewed as many, like the trees or quantities of water is called Vyashti or individual. No, content is the same, but one is individual, say I am individual, and when it is taken all together, then it is collective. But the content is the same. We can take another example like our dream. In dream, there are maybe many actors or many agents. All have same intellect borrowed from me, though they apparently separate, but actually they are all in my intellect, in my understanding. So atra api akhila shukshma. So when it's a simple thing, it's not very complicated. Content is the same when it is taken collectively or individually. So that way it is. Um, Here also the sum total of all the subtle bodies which looked sorry when looked upon as one, like a forest or a reservoir, is called samashti or aggregate, and when viewed as many, like the trees or quantities of water, is called vyashti or individual. So here nothing to um, separate. Now there are very many quotes. Lingam mano yatra nishakta. Lingam is sign, identifiable. Lingam means chinna. Chinna means the insignia. That's why chinna, signia. So say in Sanskrit and we can find similarity, Sanskrit and English. So Linga Sharira, also this subtle body is called Linga Sharira also. Okay. So Anantam Vai Mano Ananta Vishwe Deva. So that's why we see separate. It is not that completely separate. Content is the same. As I have my mind, you have your mind, and everybody has mind. And similarly intellect. So content is the same, maybe in different container. Say it is like example, Sri Ramakrishna gave example, like one real sun is reflected in 10 pictures. So 10 reflected suns. If you break one, so how many? One real sun, 9 reflected sun. And break 9, how many suns are there? One real sun and one reflected sun. Now, remove that also or break that picture also. Then how many? So Sri Ramakrishna said, it cannot be seen. Why? Because when there is reflected sun, then only we understand what is real sun. But when that alone is, who will tell it is reflected? So this is that we are to reach that. In meditation also what we do? We meditate on one goal. We take an image, we take some qualities, because in the beginning mind wavers. So it is better to have some qualities, some figure, and also name. But as one goes deeper and deeper, all drops away. Then what remains, remains. Okay, we go to the next. Any question? Yeah. And that cannot be spoken. See, like, can you speak what happens when you in deep sleep? When you wake up, then only you say, oh, I slept very well. I did not know anything. But that time when you were experiencing, you could not tell anything. When you come out, whatever you say, that is not true statement. maybe some near or maybe distant. But what you experience in your deep sleep, you cannot say that. For saying all these evolutes are required. Even to think, all the evolutes are required. So when you are thinking and speaking, expressing, you have reduced its content. No projection. No projection, not gone. That is your real, you are closer to that, closer to yourself that time. There is no outer expression. Then what you are, you are. That cannot be spoken. Similarly, when even the deep sleep also goes away and you are enlightened, that cannot be said. When you come out of it, then only one can compare. And then you find words. That words also one uses in one way, another uses in a different way. You know, American English and British English, different. Sometimes what I say here, we have learned British English, so people don't understand. That the untoward experience, untoward. So it is used there. But here, what is untoward? Means whatever is not good. So anyway. So now next we'll go to the next. Etat, yeah, 91. Etat samashti upahitam chaitanyam sutratma hiranyagarbha iti uchyati. So one is Hiranyagarbha, one is Sutratma. So what is that? Samahita or Upahita Chaitanya. See again, all these are evolutes. Because we cannot say what it is, we are trying to figure out what it is not. Then what remains, remains. So when it is collective, that time we call it Sutratma. Why Sutratma? Because it pervades everything. So it is in me, it is in you, it is in you, it is in you. How we know? Because I am speaking, you are understanding. There must be some common ground. And sun and me are one. How? Because the energy that I am using is from sun. So there must be a common ground. And that's why Sutratma. Sutratma means as if he has threaded everything through the self. Etat samashti upahitam chaitanya. So Chaitanya. But when it is collectively, see, like behind you, the same consciousness, behind me, same consciousness, behind him, same consciousness, behind her, same consciousness. So he pervades all objects, all expressions, all manifestations. That's why he is Sutratma. Now Hiranyagarbha, why Hiranyagarbha? Because from the golden womb everything comes out. When we wake up in the morning, everything is created. And when we go to sleep in the night, everything is absorbed in it. So that's why Hiranyagarbha. Everything is created from it. So consciousness associated with this totality is called Sutratma, Hiranyagarbha and Prana. Why Prana? There was once there was a dispute. Okay, I'll tell this a little later. First, Sutratma. Um, because it is immanent everywhere. That's why Sutratma. Everywhere he is pervading. And because it identifies itself with the five great uncompounded elements. That means the basic elements, uncompounded. Uh, endowed with the powers of knowledge. So it has power. What power? Knowledge power. That's why Hiranyagarbha. And pranaha. Prana means because of this, everything works, everything vibrates, everything animates. Because of this. That's why it is called, sometimes it is called Mukhya Prana. So prana or Mukhya Prana. So once it happened that there was dispute. That, I said, eyes. I said, I am the most important element among us. So people said, okay, if you are so important, go on live for 2 years. So eyes went on vacation for 2 years. So the person could not see, but everything happened almost normally. He could not see only. Ears said, I am most important. Oh, is it? Okay, go on vacation for two years. So the person could not hear. All other things happened normally. So this way, all the organs and principles that is residing here, they thought they are important, but actually they are not. Ultimately, prana said, okay, now it is my turn. Should I go? So he wanted to go from the body. So everybody was dying. No, don't go. Because of you, we are all existing. That's why it is called Mukhya Prana. Because its presence, everything is happening. So, it is closer to the self. That's why it is called prana. So, great uncompounded elements endowed with the powers of knowledge, will and activity. So, it is Samashti Upahita Chaitanya. Because of consciousness, all these are active, like AI or robot. Because of the programmer, the robot or robots work. It is the consciousness of the programmer which is being worked in the robot. Similarly, it is the consciousness. Because of that, all the avenues are functioning. Intellect is functioning, mind is functioning, 5 sense organs are functioning, 5 organs of actions are functioning. Even the perception is happening. Whatever. It is because of that. So it has power, it has knowledge, and also it is the cause of all activities. Hiranya garbha samavartatagre bhutasya jata patirekamase. So Hiranya garbha, that's why. Because he is the origin. From there everything comes out, manifests, and in this everything is absorbed. That's why Hiranyagarbha. And then Hiranyagarbha janayamasa purvam. He first produced Hiranyagarbha. So he means consciousness. He is the supreme being. First, that's the hidden way of creation. Then everything was created. Katama eko deva iti pranaha. So, like, who is this prana? Now we'll go to the next. Okay. Now this Shamashti, I think this one can be taken. Tanar shesh hobe na. Yeah, 92. अस्यैषा समष्टिः स्थूल प्रपंचापेक्षया सूक्ष्मत्वात् सूक्ष्म शरीरम विज्ञानमयादि कोशत्रयम जाग्रत वासनामय मयत्वात् स्वप्नो अतएव स्थूल प्रपंच लय स्थानम इति च चोच्यते च उच्यते. So this aggregate made up of the three sheets. Three sheets, what are the three sheets? Not Annamaya. Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. These three sheets. This aggregate made up of the three sheets as Vijnanamaya kosha, etc. Like Vijnanamaya, Manomaya and Anand, Vijnanamaya, Manomaya and Pranamaya. Sheath of action, sheath of mind, sheath of intellect. These three, which forms the limiting adjunct. So this is the limiting adjunct. What is limiting adjunct? Like a covering, like it limits the real self, or it is like because of self within, these function. So these are sheaths, these are coverings. Limiting adjuncts of Hiranyagarbha is called the subtle body. So this is called subtle body. So we have, this is gross body. What is subtle body? Pranamaya, Manomaya and Vijnanamaya. And what is causal body? Anandamaya. Why Anandamaya? Because at that time we enjoy the bliss. When you are in deep sleep, you are in most joyous position. No worries about what to do tomorrow, where to get food, what the business, how the business is doing. No worries. So Anandamaya. And that's the cause, causal body. From there comes subtle body. And from there comes the gross body. What happens at the time of death? The subtle body, that means Pranamaya, Manomaya and Vijnanamaya, sheath of action, mind and intellect, is taken away. It is no more connected with the body. So it goes to next birth. How it goes? Jalauka birth, like leech. So it finds another body, then only it lifts from here. So that's why some take more time, some takes less time. If other body is available, then it is, the conception was done, so then he transmigrates. Sometimes they are to wait. So that's why ghosts. Giving up ghosts, here. But in India, we don't say that. Not giving up. Only it is the self who has withdrawn. Prana has gone. Like that we see. The body is now without prana. Mukhya prana. So Ashaisa Samashti Sthula Prapancha Upaksha. So this aggregate made up of the three sheaths, such as Vijnanamaya Kosha, etc., Vijnanamaya, Manomaya and action, karma, no, not Annamaya, organ of action, that means Vijnanamaya, Manomaya and what is that? The actions. Just a minute. There's a Karmendriyas. So just a minute. Yeah, sure. Vigyan, say it again. Karmendriya and mind. Karmendriya and mind. So that's why organ of so it's a sheath of action. Sheath of action.
To me, it's Manomaya, Pragyana, Pranamaya,
Pranamaya.
Anamaya, Vigatmaya,
Pranamaya.
and Anamaya.
Pranamaya. Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya. These three makes subtle body. Pranamaya. Pranamaya just. Okay. Shukshmatvat, Shukshma Shariram. Limiting agents of Hiranyagarbha is called the subtle body, as it is the finer than the gross universe. So it is finer than the gross universe. So in this universe also there is a subtle universe. Like the principles, how it works, principles of gravity. It is subtle, subtler than this gross universe. It is also called the dream state, dreaming state. In dream state, what happens? Your organs of action and mental activities and intellectual activities, this happens. So subtle body functions, not the physical body. Physical body is sleeping. So it is called the dream state, and as it consists of impressions of waking state. What happens? Whatever you dream that which you have acquired in your waking time. So you wanted to do something but you could not do. Or you were afraid of something that comes in your dream. So that is the dream state. And for that very reason it is known as the merging place for the gross universe. So Sthula Shukshma Prapanchalaya Sthanam. Sthula Prapanchalaya. So this gross is merged in subtle. That's why the waking state merges in dreamy states. Anyway, we'll stop here. Any question? Yeah. Yeah, ego is also there. Yeah. That is why, that you can see some children, prodigy, they play wonderful violin. How is it possible? Like one child you can see in the internet, he knows all the parts of aeroplane. And a child, that Eileen, a lady, California. So she runs a talk show. So a small girl, Ellen. Ellen. So she interviewed her, that girl, and she knows all the body parts and how it functions, everything. So this shows that that child has got the memory. This happens. Even in our case also happens. It's not only in that case. Many things we remember from our past and it manifests. Say many things we don't learn here. It is already learned. Say music. Say even scriptures. Sometimes say what I am saying. It's not that everything that I have learned in this life. One can experience this. You have certain likings and disliking. Why? It's because of your previous tendency. Somebody is criminal. Even they try, they cannot come out of it because of their tendency. That's why we need to cultivate good qualities, good tendency, so that gradually we evolve. Okay, very good question. अक्षय तो नहीं ना? Oh, Akshay?
Yes,
Okay.
like what is difference between Virat and Hiranyagar?
Virat and Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha, just now I have explained. Hiranyagarbha is golden womb. Hiranya means gold, golden. Garbha means womb. That means as from Garbha, womb, all the creation starts. So he is the golden womb from where everything is produced. Projected, not produced. Projected. Why I say projected? Because it absorbs also. So it is not produced. When it is produced, then it cannot return to its cause. So projected. Like a thread, you take it out and again you can spool it. Like when you fly kites, so you lose the thread and then again you can withdraw it. Similarly, as a spider brings out threads from itself and again when it is required it absorbs. Similar. So Hiranyagarbha and Virat means when it is gross, and this universe, that's called Virat. Virat. So within this there is subtle, that's Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is the subtler portion, Virat is grosser. It will be gradually, it will be clear. Then it's Tejas, another words is there. So individually and collectively. So when we take Virat, the gross, the whole, when it is taken as a whole or collectively, that is called Virat in gross form. But when it is subtle, subtle means causal, that's called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha samavartatagre bhutasya jata patirekam asit. So from Hiranyagarbha everything comes out. Like you have this gross body, you have subtle body, you have causal body. This is gross body, inside subtle body. What is subtle body? Organs of action, mind, intellect. In presence of consciousness, that's subtle body. And all these gross idea of gross body, subtle body, causal body are merged in one. And from there again comes. So when it is taken collectively, that's called Hiranyagarbha. And again it projects, again it absorbed, like that. But when it is gross, that's why Virat. Virat. So this is Virat. You can see sky, universe, so many galaxies. So all these are part of Virat. Virat means huge, literally. Very good. As usual, your questions are very good. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you very much. Thank
Pranamana.
you. Namaskar, namaskar,
Pranama.
namaskar. These are important because then only meditation, at the time of meditation, you can withdraw yourself. Okay.
Namaste, Swami. I have a question for you, but it'll
Yeah,
wait
no, no,
till
go ahead, go
Saturday.
ahead. Now see, like,
No.
no,
It's
no,
not
no,
about this.
you please go ahead.
No. It's about something I read in the library today, waiting for you, from Turiyananda Swami Hari Maharaj.
Huh.
It's okay.
No,
It'll
no, no,
disrupt.
you please. What happens? That's why, you know, when a question comes, not at that time it is to be clarified.
Yeah, but it doesn't really pertain to the scriptures that we've been talking about. It was just something from Hari Maharaj.
What is that?
Um, he he talked about something about the difference between the three things: karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and jnana. It was something I'd never really read or heard about before.
Very good.
It was very shocking to me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He said that only a few people can really be jnanis, and they have to completely renounce their desires, and that's the top tier, maybe 2% of devotees. And the next group down was the karma yogis, and I always thought that karma yoga meant, like what we all, I think, also think about
I understood.
as, yeah.
Yeah,
And he
that's
said,
that what he said is right. You know
okay,
what we are trying to do. This helps our in our meditation.
okay,
We are not fully jnanis, but
no,
this way we can separate. We can negate what we are not. Uh, Jnanis, they are totally detached, like Shankaracharya.
yeah, he said, no attachments whatsoever, but if you're a person who
What
has
happens?
some attachment,
I'll give an example.
okay,
So, uh, the disciples, some few disciples of Shankaracharya thought that people come and honor him, and why not they honor us also, or something like that. This happened.
okay,
So they wanted to equate them with Shankaracharya. So
mhm,
one day Shankaracharya said, "Let us go for bhiksha." So they went to a ironsmith's shop,
mhm,
and bhavatu bhiksham dehi. So he asked for alms. So the person gave, hot iron that was being
um,
heated, and it was red hot. He gave that.
into his bowl, his begging bowl,
No, no, he gave, and
okay,
Shankaracharya took it and swallowed it. Then they could understand that, like him, he was totally detached. They were not like him. Shankaracharya was totally detached, so he could swallow because nothing will happen to him.
uh-huh,
But other people could not do. But what we do here, we have natural questioning. How to meditate. So what not to think. In the beginning, we have discussed about it.
uh-huh,
Either we know what it is, or we should know what it is not. What it is cannot be expressed. So it is better what it is not. If we know that, then we will not worry about it. Then we will uh, will be established in our own self. That is why it is required. We understand what is this body. We understand this. What is karmendriyas? Like functioning. We understand. What is mind? Yes, we have some inkling. What is intellect? Yes. And then definitions are there. So this way, this is all evolutes. We are not evolutes. Then what we are? Then that is what we are. So this helps. That is why in our Sangha, we don't discourage, rather we encourage study of Vedanta or scriptures.
Uh-huh.
Not that we are all Gyanis, but this will help you in meditation.
Yes, I get that. I used to flatter myself that I was a jnani, but after reading that today from Turiyananda Swami, I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm not.
He is telling the truth, but we are to take the teaching out of it. Here, he also used to teach Vivek Chudamani. What is that? It's knowledge.
Right.
And he wrote that translation of that book, Vivek Chudamani, and he used to
Mm-hmm.
teach. And in our order, uh, cultivation of knowledge is very much important. At the same time, we sing glories of God also. But can you sing all the time Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare? It's difficult. And suppose somebody can do it, um, but what is the harm? If there is only one curry, you are eating by that only, or rather four curries. So jnana, karma, bhakti, all kinds of things are there. So let
Gotcha.
us have it. Enjoy all, whatever is helpful. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Jai Ma.
Jana.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. And one thing happens, through this, our intellect becomes sharper. If nothing happens, say everybody cannot become Einstein. Does it mean that they should not go to school or should not study science? At least to understand the theories proposed by Einstein, one should be educated enough to understand that.